Alright my friend, it's Duc. In this lesson, let's talk about how we can set up our UI collection view and UI collection view controller. Now if you don't know about collection view or anything related to collection view, that's great because we are going to talk everything about that in this course for you. All you have to do is click the link right below this page, sign up for the course. It's all for you there, and download all the starter project, all the starter resources that I have for you. So in this lesson, here is the app. Again, the app that we are going to build after we finish this course, all the lessons, all the trainings in this course. We have a simple photos browser app that will have multiple sections of photo in family, in travel, in food, and in all of those other stuff, right? And then if we click into, and we have a grid of images, a grid of photos, and then when we click into one photo, we see the detail, the bigger version of that photo. So that is what we want to do in this course. In this lesson, I would love to share with you how to set up the photos library data structure. Meaning that if you want to show up these photos on your UI, on your app, you are going to need some data. So we need to structure the data in a way that we'll have the data, we'll have the photos, we'll have the model in our MVC work properly with our controller. So that is what we'll talk about in this demo. So burst out your Xcode, download the starter project, download the starter code and starter resources and images and icons I have for you in this course right below this video, and let's get started in the demo. Alright my friend, download your demo resources and all the resources, icons, images, some source code I prepared for you by clicking the link right below on this page. And let's get started. Burst out your Xcode and we will create a new Xcode project. Now by the way, all you have to do is download these files right below. You will need that for our demo. Here is the app that we are going to build. Again, we have this beautiful app that I'm running on my simulator right here, and we have different sections of photos. You see this? Different sections of photo. We have the beautiful icons, beautiful photos, and by the way, all of these photos are from Instagram. I hope that the owner of the accounts is not offended by that. And then when we click into one photo, we see the detail of the photo. And we are able to add some new random photos like these. Some random photos, of course, random, and it's just by random, it's just like how lucky we are. We have three continuous the same photos. Alright, and then it shows into very nicely animation happens just like these. And now in this demo, I set it into the first section. You can set it into any section. And plus, we are able to click into the edit button, delete these photos, and you'll see the beautiful animation. And we can hide that delete button just like that. Beautiful, incredible. So we'll learn all about that in this course. It contains 9 lessons. So let's get started because we are like 1 minute in the lesson so far. So let's create a new single view application. And here, I'm going to call this guy UI Collection View Photo something. You can put in as any name, or you know what? Let me put this name a little bit more poetic. Photo Maniac. Okay, and then we'll put it as in the download folder that, again, you can download the complete project right there for you. I will upload all of those below there with a link for you. So, step number 1, as almost always when you create your app, is you think about your data structure, your data model. How are you going to structure data so that you can display those stuff, those photos, those information on your UI? How you can do that? Because a lot of you, usually I will just give you the start project so that you can study the code and practice reading some of the pre-written code, because that is one skill very important for a developer, to read code from other people, to understand that and get up and running really fast. Don't have to write code that people already written before.
So just use the things that people already wrote and don't reinvent the wheels. But a lot of you ask me, hey Duc, how do you think about the data structure? How do you design your data structure? Those kind of things. So from now on, I'm going to talk more about that because that is also another very important skills, and I would say even more important skills than for starters and for intermediate levels than just reading code. So that's what we're going to continue to talk about. Now, in this lesson, let's create that data structure, that data model. Let's right click into our Photo Maniac app and new file. Let's use a Swift file, and I'm going to call this guy photos, like this. Or let's call that photo. Cool. Let's create a class, and then in here, there's a few classes that I want to create. Number one, I want to create a class called photos library, like this. And another structure in our data structure, let's call this guy photo category. So we have two structures. Number one is the photos library. Number two is our photo category. So it means that the photo category here will contain the information about the categories, and then the photos library will contain the information about the whole library of photos. How's that? Cool? Okay. Now let's do our photos library first. Let's do our photo category first. So each of the category, you see this? Okay, each of these will be a category. Or if you know about table view, then the table view has different sections for the table view. The same goes for collection view. Collection view also has different sections, also has cells for row and index path. Also, it's actually item and index path. It has different rows. It has prototype cells. The only difference between collection view and table view, mostly on the conceptual level, is that the collection view has a different object that will control the layout of the collection view. Meaning that, do you want it to be a grid like this, or do you want to be like the the carousel that you can slide left and right? Or let me show you some of that. Okay, I think I have some of these on here. Okay, the Nike retail. So we have this app over here. You can do this with a collection view. You can do this with a collection view. You see this? Or you can make this whole tail view with collection view. Make sense? Okay, another example. I don't have a lot here because I think that some of that is already deleted because I just updated my Xcode. But let's head over our news app over here, and this thing is a collection view. Let's see. This thing is a table view, but I mean, you can create almost anything in iOS with collection view. This can be a collection view or page view controller. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can create with collection view. And by the way, the design that I take is really largely influenced by this guy. You see this? Okay, so we are going to create that. Let's do this. The photo library category. We have the image name, right? We have the category name. We have the image name of the category, this icon over here, and then we have an array of image names that we are going to use. So let's head over that. Var category image name is a string. We have the title is a string, the title of the category, and we have the image names is an array of string. That's pretty clear, right? Very simple, a simple structure. All right, now let's talk about our photos library. And before we do that, let's import a bunch of resources that I have for you, a bunch of photos that I have for you. All you have to do is download that folder, this download photo right below, click into the UI Collection View demo resources, and then you have the icons. See that? And then in this icon, I already have a bunch of image set for you, and all you have to do is drag this whole thing into Xcode, the assets.exe assets. But now, notice our app icon here. I want to delete this thing because we already have an app icon into that. So drag the whole thing into your Xcode exe assets like this, and wait for it for a little bit. It's importing, and boom, we have the beautiful icons. You see this? Now, when we run the app for the first time, let's run the app. Oops, I don't want 7 plus. Here we go. Let's run it for the first time. So this is our app, right? It doesn't have anything, but we have the beautiful photo maniac icon. So that is that. Very simple. So let's open up the complete project. Now let's go into our, again, photo.swift. And then we have the photos library. In here, I want to have several functions. Number one, I want to have a private class function called generate an image for the category prefix, which is a string. And then the number of images, I want to have the number of images an integer that return for us an array of string, which is our image names. Cool? Now, why do we want to do this whole thing? Because we are trying to prototype our app so that we don't have to rely on a server. We don't have to rely on a kind of like a database locally, like core data or SQLite or any kind of data that can be changed. Here is just pure Swift code. So if you look at your assets.exe assets, we have different categories of images. So F1 like this, I think that is family, right? So we have F1 to F9 is family. The prefix is F. We have F01 to F08 is food. So FO stands for food. We have N1 to N8 is nature. We have T1 to T9 is travel. Makes sense. So it's just a weird way that I invent for this app. It doesn't make any sense. You can create and name any kind of things that you want to use. So here, let's use this guy. So we have the prefix and we have the number of images. All I have to do is return that array of image names. So let's have var categories to be, let's have var image names to be an array of empty string. An empty string. And then we have for I in 1 to the number of images. Then I'm going to just image names, don't append a new name for the image. And then all I have to do is having that category prefix, which is like F and T, using string interpolation, category prefix, and then we have I like this, right? So it could be T1, F1, those kind of things. And then we return the image names. Very simple. Okay. Make sense? Okay. Now the photos library over here. Let's have another public class method called download photos data. This download photo data is going to be like a lot of times when we talk about in a course in Total iOS Blueprint, like we download data from Weather app or we download data from Foursquare API that have a bunch of restaurants nearby and we have beautiful restaurants on the map, those kind of things using like current location, the GPS, and we draw on the map all of those informations that we have to download from the internet. This method is going to be replacing that. Those will be like downloading from the internet. That is what we want to do, right? So the way that I show you how to structure the data, even if in prototype mode like this, is very much like when you do with a REST API with a server So here I want to return a dictionary because most of the time when you talk to a server, it is in terms of JSON, which stands for JavaScript Object Notation. All it means is that it's just a bunch of dictionaries. So here I want to return a bunch of dictionaries, and guess what? Because it's just really copy and paste code and typing in, so I have prepared for you the prototyped data.swift. Click into that, and then all you have to do is copy and paste these lines of code, which is a dictionary, paste it over here, and you see that, right? So we have like the number one, the family, then we have the dictionary, the key is family, and then we have the category image name is family, we have the image names, an array of images, names is, we call this method, right? Photos library.generate the image names with category prefix of f, with the number of images is 9, and the same go for food, for travel, for nature. Make sense? Okay. Now the last method I want to do is the struct. Inside this struct, I want to have a method called static func fetch photos, and then this return for me an array of photo category, like this. Oh, you know what? The photo category, I think that we should leave this method in the photos library, because the photos library is like a bigger object that contains a bunch of photos. So here, I think we should put it as class func fetch photos that return for us an array of photo category. Like that, we can communicate between different structure like this, right? And then here, let's have var categories to be an array of empty photo category. An empty array of photos category. And then let's the photos data to be our photos library dot download photos data. Now you notice the pattern here, because I have the class prefix like this. It means that it is a class function. That's why I can call that class function on the type, not an instance. So if you have like a normal function, for example, I have a normal function like a func, like this, func. So for example, I have a func called get photo category detail that returns for me a string like this, and here I just return an empty string, for example, like that. This is just, even if it is an struct, it's just like a class. The same for a normal method in a class. And in order to use this thing, you have to have an instance of the type photo category. So for example, you have let category equals to photo category like this, and then you initialize it, right? And then you call category dot get photo category details, and those kind of things. So that is what we call an instance method, and this is a class method or typed method or typed function. Okay, now in here we need to parse these photos data, this dictionary of photos data, which is just a bunch of string, into our categories like these, so that we return that. Now why do I make you go through this? Because you well know that we can create a bunch of those immediately in this. Well, it's because I want you to practice with it, that when you're dealing with JSON later on in the course, you are going to have a lot of dictionary to parse. You have a lot of data structure just like these to parse. So why don't we make it a practice? So here, let's enumerate through the photos data. We have for category name in the dictionary of the photo category in the photos data. Right, so we go through each of the key value pairs like this. The key is the category name, and then the dictionary is the data, right? So in here we check if let the dictionary is the dictionary as a string to any, like this. Because if you look at the type here, the dictionary here is any. and then we cast it as another dictionary. And then we do let the category image name to be our category image name to be dictionary category image name, like this, and as a string we cast it down like that. Okay, make sure that we have this, and then we have if let image names to be the dictionary subscript image names as a array of string. Right, you see this? The image names is an array of string because we're calling this photos library.generate image that return for us an array of string. So here what we can do is let new category equals to our photo category. And this photo category here, all we have to do, oh, by the way, I'm going to delete this dummy method. And then we have to call the initializer for this. So we have the category image name, which is this guy, category image name, the title, which is our category name. Or you know what? I'm going to call this thing category title. Copy paste over here. The image names is this guy. There you have it. Then what do we do? Now we have the new category. All we do for this for loop is that we enumerate each of the key value pairs over here, and then we create a new category. Now what do? We want to have an array of photo categories. We append that new category into these categories. So categories dot append the new category, and finally we return the categories. And bingo, we have our data structure ready to go.
Alright guys, I hope that you enjoyed this lesson. We talk about creating our data structure for the Photos Library app. Now this is the start, so let's move on into the next challenge. Your challenge this time is to watch the next training. The next training, we are going to set up our collection view and collection view controller. Again, if you don't know about collection view yet, that's great. That is why you are in this course. So let's burst out your Xcode. Let's continue to the next training.